I got this nice little note with this shear and the address for salon to send it to. And I'm assuming it came from a sharpener, and I don't know which sharpener it is. So please contact us. But, oh, and I showed you the note upside down. Is that a sign of distress when it's upside down? It may be distress, and it's probably my fault. I have the tendency of things come in for sharpening, I take it out of the box, throw away the box if it's got some literature where we know where they're going to, and then I'll put everything in a basket. And I think I threw away the box, and of course trash has been taken out, so I don't know who they belong to, but we'll get at least the address where they go is on here. So let me read this note. I put on a new bumper. So here's the shears. This is a shark fin shear. I put on a new bumper. It was gone. I put in a new washer. I lightly sharpened them. I cleaned them. They were pretty bad. She says they won't cut when she does point cutting. I think the bumper needs grinding down. Please sharpen if needed. Well, yeah, they won't point cut. Let me show you why. Here, take a look at the tip. See? So they're not meeting. Yeah, they left red marker on these too. These look very bevelly. I think I need to resharpen and make them look more convex. Let me let you see how bevelly it looks. You see how that looks like a bevel? And that tip does not look pretty at all. Looks like a couple of different angles there. So I'm just going to resharpen these, but first of all, I'm going to try to fix that tip. And I'm using my handy dandy bender. So I'm wanting that blade to go this way, closer to this one. So I'm making it an arrow. And I want to take this out because that's going to give me a false reading. So you're going to take the insert ring out. Ah, there we go. Because I just want to bend it slightly. So that's an arrow because I want that blade to go this way. And I'm going to squeeze it gently. And I'm feeling a lot of resistance, so I don't know if I want to bend it anymore. Oh, but I did bend it a little bit. Look here. Look at here. I did bring it. I think it's touching. Probably after I finish sharpening it, I may want to round off the tip a little bit. So let's just go through all the sharpening steps and see what we can do to make this look a little bit more convex-like. And yes, they wouldn't have point cut because the tips. And with this screw-in bumper, you could take something off that bumper, but I'd rather not because it's, before you know it, you're down to the metal and then they're going click, click, click. So let's take these apart. Okay, so I'm going to clean them up, sharpen these from the beginning to end, and then we'll test them. And try to make them look a little bit more convex. So there's red marker on them still. Always before you give them back, get all the red marker off, but they think you bled on them. See, it's red marker right there. And that's the other thing. Some of my videos, I'm using a red Sharpie. I got lots of videos, so if you're interested in shear sharpening, take a look at them. But we switched to this Scimech EdgeMarker because it's not as strong. It stays on enough for what I needed to do, but it's not as permanent as the Sharpie brand. And what I find, it works really well for this because it'll stay on for me to see if I've got a good ride line. But it wipes off easy. Now I'm going to put it in my box. Oh, this is my video or not. Seeing my Nagura stone. Oh, there's my Nagura stone. I pulled it out earlier. I found it. So this Negura stone, if you've never used them, it creates a little bit of a slurry. And it just gives me a better ride line. Sort of cleans up my stone a little bit. Misty had trouble saying Negura, so on our website, I think it's called End Stone or something. All the way up to the hilt, pressure here, light out there. And our next Sharpener's Jam, I'm going to bring some water stones and have some hands-on classes on doing rod lines. Because I find some people who've been sharpening for years will still have some misconceptions and things that they do wrong in doing rod lines. And this is like the foundation. Now, I can't tell from this whether the last person did the rod lines wrong, because it looks okay to me. Move this out of the way. I'm going to go to cushion plate. And I've got a fairly fresh 1000 grit. Best to start with the back blade first. And that's usually the one with the finger rest. I mean, one without the finger rest. Although it doesn't really, not really going to affect the way they sharpen or anything. It's just, you kind of learn off the first blade. So I'm tightening this down, and I'm going to set my clamp at 45, because if this person's point cutting, that's probably the angle they want. And we'll see if the angle these were sharpened at is pretty close to 45. If it was a whole lot blunter, I'm going to have to switch this out to something coarser. And you can do a little scratch test even with these convex edge shears. Yep, that looks about right. So I'm going to go on. You got to make sure this is rotating. And I'm coming to the edge. Got a nice burr all the way down. I'd like to get that tip looking a little better. Zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about maybe. So that tip doesn't look good, and it still looks a little bevelly. I want to get that tip a little bit better. You got to keep it rolling. And I'm looking really close to see if I have a burr all the way to the tip. And I do. I have a burr all the way down. And it still looks a little bevelly right there. So I'm going to concentrate up in here. And I have a burr all the way down, and it looks a lot more convex looking. So I'm going back to my stone. Clean it up a little bit with my Negura stone. Pulling my burr off. Burr's gone. This is off. Onto my polishing pad, which originally was white. It's got diamond spray and it's got the white rouge on it. So I'm adjusting my clamp and turning it up maybe about 3 turns. And the reason I'm turning it up on the detente is because I don't want to roll over my edge. I want to come up to the edge but not roll over it. Hey, that looks good. And these little babies are done. Didn't take that long. Alright, so I'm putting it back together. Square peg goes in the round hole. Square peg, round hole. Finger under that. This over, crisscross. Crisscross applesauce. I want to make sure my nipple is up. If you watch a lot of my videos, you may get tired of seeing me put these shears together, but so many people struggle with this. Alright, so I haven't closed them yet. I'm going to close them either on a paper towel or my tissue I'm going to test them on. I'll kind of double it up here. And yes, this is toilet tissue. That tip still pulls. We're going to have to do something about the tip. So, we can bend the handle some more, which I may try that just a tad, because it did help before. I'm going to bend the other. I can't bend the other handle, it's too small. So, I could take something off that bumper just a tad, which sometimes just little cuticle nippers like this, I just want to take just, itsy amount off. About 1 millimeter. I can still get my nail in there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to throw this back on here and shorten them about 1 millimeter. Just straight in here. And I usually use that center part because that's a little fresher grit. And I'm constantly feeling to see if it feels sharp. So is my tip together now? Okay, I'm going to let you look at this because it looks like the tip's together, doesn't it? But if I open a little bit and then I close it, it just touches. It doesn't overlap. For a shear to cut, it needs to actually overlap. So I might take a little bit more off the bumper. I said I didn't want to do that, but took a little bit more off the bumper, and I'm going to shorten it a little bit more. This is kind of magnetizing. I'm noticing the grit on it. It's good to have like this little demagnetizer. There, that worked. Let's see if it pulls wet. So, toilet tissue. Wet. And let's see if it pulls. So I'm pulling my thumb out. Slow catches things that, I think that tip is good. Let's double check it on some hair. And sometimes this like fur, even though it's not for a dog groomer, but sometimes this fine fur is going to tell me better. Absolutely no pull. So I'll put a little oil on them, put a bow on them, and then these are going back to that customer. Oh, double check your screw, make sure it doesn't loosen up. Hey, I'm Bonnie McGowan, and this is what I do. About every Monday, I'll be uploading a new video. So if you want to see them and catch them, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you have any comments or suggestions of some videos you'd like to see, make sure you let me know. I answer all the comments. Now, if you're looking for the tools that I used in this video and the different things that I used, those should be in links below or on the product page, or if not, you should find them on my website, bonika.com. There's all kinds of things in the description below on how you can connect and contact me. So stay sharp. I'll see you in the next video.